For a long time now, students have become very used to how classrooms work. Teachers will help them with their work. Students may talk and make friends to each other. They do homework. They come back and turn it in. We've gotten used to a routine, and in 2019, the coronavirus hit the world, and from there, everything really went downhill. Everything closed up. People began wearing masks, and even schools got affected by this virus. They got closed up, and students were forced to stay home. It wasn't until a couple weeks later that Zoom ended up becoming something that many teachers ended up using. Zoom is an online program that students can use to help teach and learn. And basically, teachers sit in front of a classroom of students and they teach the same way that they normally would, except it's online. But with this comes a lot of severe consequences. When you're taught in school, usually you have teachers readily available. You can get up from your desk and you can go up and talk to them. You could talk to your friends and ask them questions and you can get help with your work. With Zoom education, it's not entirely possible anymore. You can ask your teacher and students questions, but it's a lot less accessible. Many students are also relatively afraid to actually go up to their teacher and ask them questions like that. With Zoom being the environment that it is, students actually tend to have a bit of a rough time communicating to their teacher. They may have the raise hand system that Zoom introduced. They may have tools that allow teachers to notice them, like raising their hand, but they can't exactly always interrupt a teacher's teaching. Sometimes the teacher isn't actually there all the time. Sometimes it's just a recording, a live recording that they'll play, and students have to keep up with it. With the advent of Zoom and a lot of online education being resorted to doing it at home, many students actually are having a tough time because unlike teaching in a normal school, students actually don't really have ease of access to most of the things that they have in a classroom. They don't have friends to talk to. They don't have teachers right in front of them that they can access. And some students, many students, actually don't do very well with online teaching because they're just not used to it. Being forced to work home in a lonely environment is often challenging, and especially when you're not surrounded by any students, it can be really, really tough.
I was worried about their mental health because, being isolated at home and not being able to get out and see your friends or have, even gyms were closed for many people, and so they weren't able to go out and exercise. And so that really worried me, and I was not wrong in my worry because, anxiety and attempted and completed suicide attempts have been on the rise, especially among high school populations. Right. But every group has been affected. But it just really worries me because I know that there's a kind of a hidden pandemic out there of stress, worry, anxiety, and depression that we really don't take a strong approach to.
Many people, including myself, are unsure what the future of education holds for us, but we're all fearful, and we hope that we can get the support we need and hope that we can find solutions.